everybody, Richard Chapman here again with CyberNow Labs, bringing to you another key tip during this Cybersecurity Awareness Month. We talked a little bit about passwords already and how important it is to have a strong and unique password. Well, that is great, and absolutely you want to have a good, strong, and unique password. But what happens if the attacker gets your password? Well, that means that they can log in just like you. So we want to try to make sure that if somebody does get your password, it's still going to be difficult for them to log in. So how do we do that? This is where two-factor authentication comes in to save the day. Multi-factor authentication, two-factor authentication, different phrases and terms that it goes by, but generally the idea here is that it is a second way to authenticate. Your password is your first way that you authenticate to whatever environment you're logging into. But if all you need is a username and a password, well, if somebody gains access to that, they can log in as you, even though they're not you. So, two-factor authentication. What this looks like for a lot of people is an app maybe on your phone that you download. And that app, what it does is it rotates a code. And when you set up the multi-factor authentication or the two-factor authentication, it is synced with your phone, with your setup, so that if you log in with your username and your password, then you have to put in that special code that's only in that app. Now, there are some apps out there that some of you might already be familiar with. Microsoft Authenticator, Google's Authenticator. There's other ones like Okta or RSA, Duo. These are some of the more popular multi-factor authentication tools. But again, they get loaded on your phone. So again, if somebody does gain access to your username and your password, they also have to have your phone. Because when they type in that username and password, it's not just going to give them access. It's also going to ask them for that unique code, which guess what, is only going to be on your cell phone because you have that authenticator app on your cell phone. So, multi-factor authentication or two-factor authentication, most reliable accounts have multi-factor authentication or two-factor authentication. I highly recommend that you turn them on. And yes, it's an extra step, but to keep you secure, it's well worth it. Two-factor authentication. Stay tuned. We'll see you on the next episode.